operate out of your dreams and your vision and not other people's expectation. Having breast cancer wasn't my choice, but the decision to live healthy so that I could stand before you here today, that's choice. You can choose this very moment to change your life from every perspective.
Tracy Randolph was our speaker. She came back because so many people liked her first presentation. I was one of those people that joined her fitness group, and it made me a better leader.
I grew up in a community, but they had limiting beliefs on what a little black girl could do. Everything that you do in this life is a choice. I choose to live healthy. I choose to change my mindset. I choose to be everything that I dreamed of because I choose faith and I choose me. Live healthy, be everything that you can be today. Choose yourself.
You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Hello, hello, hello.
All right, all right. I hope that everybody out there can hear me and it's a little dark. I don't know what happened. First night, and here we go. And I look a little fuzzy here, so we're going to fix all of this, everybody. So, welcome to the Whole Living Show. And I hope that you can hear me and see me okay. And we're just going to get things together here. Okay, so you're going to see here what happens normally backstage, and I was all ready to go and the show opener was playing. So I'm going to play something else because I want to make sure that I can actually hear as well, because my sound went out. So this is what happens on your first night, new time, new network. We are now on Trajectory TV, everybody, and look what just happened. So I see a comment coming in. Hey BJ, can you hear me okay now? Because I had no sound, no sound at all. And I just want to make sure you can actually hear me. And I love that BJ is out there, because what I'm going to talk about tonight actually is about community. And she says, yep, she can hear me. All right, amazing. So I don't have to play another commercial. I hope you guys saw the show opener, and I was giving you a preview of what you are going to find on Trajectory TV. And I wanted to continue that, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But you saw the show opener for the weekly dose of Dano, and then also Divine Encounters. Well, we are all moving to Trajectory TV. So how exciting, everyone. Still on E360 TV network. So you can still find us there on all of the avenues that support the E360 TV network. So do not fret, do not worry. We will still be here in the same community. And I want to talk a little bit about that tonight. So sometimes in life, we have to pivot. We have to make a change. We have to decide that, okay, the things that we were looking to do, maybe they're not working exactly the way that we want to. So we have to pivot. We got to make some changes. And then sometimes we just need to build community. So I love that Brandy's out there, because Brandy is a part of my community. So we do a show together called Fem Talk on Tuesday evenings. If you missed that last night, make sure that you stop on by on Fem Talk. But she's a part of my community, and it's so good to build with people that you respect, that you love, that have amazing ideas, that always want growth and want to push forward, that want to see you win and you want to see them win. There's no crabs in the barrel mentality. You are all just focused on moving forward and growing and progressing together. And how much easier is it to do those things together than it is alone? Listen, when you are a solopreneur, right? And that's the word that they're using now. If you are a solopreneur and you don't have any help, which this is my world at the moment. However, that's going to change. This is why I have community with these shows. But when you don't have the help that you need, you want to make sure that you put yourself in a place where you can start to engage the help. And it doesn't mean that it's going to happen overnight, but it will happen. But when you build community, where people are wanting to do the same things, that's their desires, that's their goals, you can come together and you can share in those things. Brandy and I do that all the time for the shows. And then she's even somebody that I go to for other things as well, because this is a part of the community. So we're going to get into that a little bit more. I'm going to show you another opener from another show that will be on Trajectory. So just giving you guys a sneak peek, because this is my it's not a new day for me. I usually was on at 10 a.m. in the morning on Wednesdays, but now it is a new time. I will be here with you at 7 p.m. on Wednesday evenings, because life is changing and I need to change with the times sometimes. So that's just what we have to do. Sometimes we have to pivot and we have to shift and we have to make changes that is better for our own lives and our circumstances. But it never means that you should stop, okay? I love doing the Whole Living Show. So it wasn't a time for me to quit or stop. That wasn't it. It was just time for me to make some changes. And now we have a new time. So let me show you a preview of what else you can expect on Trajectory. Here we go. right, so we are back, just showing you a little bit more of my community here on Trajectory TV. So if you are just joining, just to reset us a little bit, I sound like I'm on Clubhouse, right? But just to reset us for a little bit, the Whole Living Show has a new time, and we are under a new network within E360 TV called Trajectory TV. So I was giving you previews of what you can expect on Trajectory, what we have thus far. And I will say to all of you out there, if you are desiring to do a show of your own, you have a purpose and a passion for something, and you want to get it out to the world, reach out to me. Okay, this is what building community is all about. So I'm going to get into this a little bit more. We're going to play a video. I have a TEDx talk that I was watching on community, quite interesting, but I want everybody out there to think about, if you don't already have community, and you can have tribes that support, and you can have tribes that also help you build and grow. So you can decide on, what your community looks like based on, what you feel like you need in your life and what's going to be good for your life, though, as well, right? You don't want the tribes that are going to bring you down. You don't want the people who are stuck in limiting beliefs, who are negative, who just want to tear you down and not see you win and stay stuck themselves. That's not community, everybody. That is not a tribe. Okay. So we don't want that for you out there. This is why, the Whole Living Show exists. This is why we do this, because we want to make sure that everybody out there is living a whole and full life, mind, body, and spirit. So a part of your whole life is building community, building people that you can trust, that you believe in, and that believe in you. So, okay, hopefully we don't have technical difficulties going on anymore. I'm going to say that is done. That is done. And we are going to get into, I'm going to be showing you clips of a TEDx talk around community. So I'm going to share my screen, and you guys will be able to see this as well. And since my community is out there, BJ, when you can see this, just let me know that you can actually see what's happening on the screen as well. So I'm going to share my screen here, everybody. And looks like we are good to go. So I'm going to put it on this TEDx talk. You let me know if you can see everything really well. And we're going to get into this. So here we go.
Actually, I owe this to you, because in my life, community has changed and affected me in more ways than I could count. How will we create a future that's not just an improvement, but one that is more deeply connected and fulfilling?
I had to stop right there for 1 second, because just the question alone, how can we create a community that's based on improvement, that's fulfilling? I think that's where she's going with this, right? So listen some more, everybody, but I just wanted to stop right there because it's a profound question, and I love the pause even that she did to make you think about it. So I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you as you are listening to this TEDx talk and your feelings about community and what she has to say.
The answer to that question for me is community. Mm-hmm. Most of us carry our own meaning of the word, but the root and suffix common unity seem to sum it all up. Mm-hmm. Common unity is something I've always sought. I spent a lot of time looking at other cultures with a sense of envy at traditions and rites of passage and ritual that indicated this sense of connectedness and belonging that I didn't see a lot of in the America that I grew up in.
I got to stop that right here too, because the fact that, we just came out of, the voting time, it was election time for the majority of the House, or probably about half of it, right? The House of Representatives and the Senate, and how key that is. And just thinking about how divided we are as a country in this time period when there's elections happening, how divided we are, the right and the left, right? And there's always a name for it, Democrats and Republicans. But how effective would we be if we could be one big community and all work together. So I think about that, and particularly because she said here in America and at this time, we are so divided. We're divided on, all of our social issues. We're divided on, what we feel is important. We're divided on how much freedoms people should have, right? Right here in this country. So just think about that when you're thinking about building community and what's important for you in your community. And I love that she broke it down to common unity. Because when you think about it from that perspective, right, it sounds simple. And it sounds like that's what we should be doing, right? Common unity. Do the things that are common, right? That are going to make life better for us, and come together in unity to do so. So we're going to keep going, but I just love how she breaks this down. And I'm going to say this again. I love the pauses. There's so much to the pauses, but it's to get you to think about what she's saying. But I just wanted to indicate that in this time period, this is so, so key. Here we go.
Common unity shows up in my life in 4 ways. Through a connection of minds, when I have the opportunity for dialogue, discussion, and permission to be curious. Connection of spirit, broadening my sense of place, self, and meaning in the world. Connection of citizen, when I can join and align with another to exponentially increase my own potential for impact.
Okay, I gotta stop it there as well. I gotta stop it there, everybody. So when you think about that part as well, just joining together to increase your own impact. Okay, so I don't like using the word selfish, right? But if you're just thinking about even your own business, which, listen, I don't think that's the way to go when you're building community, but I just want to say it from this perspective. You cannot be as impactful as you need to be, as you desire to be, as I'm sure you dream to be, without building community. And I want you to sit on that for a minute. And I'm going to say that again. You cannot be as impactful as you desire or dream to be if you do not build community. So she's really going somewhere deep with this. And I want you guys to really pay attention. For those of you out there who feel like you can do it all by yourself, you are going to burn yourself completely out. And 9 times out of 10, you are not going to be able to get to where you need to be. If you look at some of the most successful people in this world, or what you would consider successful, they have a community of people that are working with them and for them to make life successful. So here we go. We're going to do a little bit more of this.
And connection of people, reminding me that I'm not alone and that others love and care for me. Mm-hmm. I actually came to value community through the absence of it. Mm-hmm. I always had this desire for deeper connection that was a primal need for a sense of belonging and greater purpose. Where did I fit in? Where was I, my best self, made better by what you brought out in me? I believe that community completes our soul.
Oh boy, did you hear that? Did you hear that, everybody? Community completes our soul. Now, I don't know who this Facebook user is, but grand evening to you as well. Thank you for joining. Please put your name in here. We are talking about community, and this TEDx talk that we're watching, she's saying it completes your soul. And if you were listening to her, she was trying to figure out where she fit in, right? And she didn't really feel complete until she came into a community. Hey, Carrie, another part of my community out there, Carrie Irene Crosby, ATBA. That's right. That is community right there as well, everybody. So we're talking about community, and this TEDx talk is really deep. It's really deep. And I was saying that, I just love the way she breaks it down, and even the pauses that she's making. But she was just talking about the impact that community has made on her life. And she was saying that she didn't know where she fit in until she built community. And I'm going to go back a little bit because I can remember, just, not being fully aware of, what I was meant to do. And, I was doing well and working and, kind of living by that, go to school, go to work, get a good job, you'll do well. And that was fine. It served me very well. And I did meet great people who are still a part of my community right now, through that experience. But I really wasn't aware of what community really meant until, I got hit over the head with an illness. For those of you out there who don't know, I'm a breast cancer survivor. And I just started thinking about, what my life was meant to be. And I was called to help other people to not have to, hopefully not have to live with disease, right? To be proactive and preventative up front, to live healthy lifestyles so that they don't have to live with the disease afterwards. We want to mitigate that risk, but going through that process and figuring out who I am and who I'm called to serve and what my purpose is, I didn't really know community until I had to become fully aware. I was forced to become fully aware of who I was meant to be. And that's when community came, real community that I was describing earlier. Those who want you to win, those who are ready to see you grow, and those who want it to be reciprocal, where we could give and take from each other, give and receive. And it's all good. It's okay. And that we're happy for each other to do so. That's what community is. And I didn't really realize it, even though I grew up in church. I grew up with an amazing family, and we had community there, but I knew it as family, right? And I kept the family close, of course, and still do. And that's still a big part of my community. But when it came to, my growth outside of the people that I just knew loved me, which was my family, when it came to my growth outside of that, I didn't know what community was, because when you're working for an employer and you're of that mindset that, it's just drilled in that I just need to do this to get by, right? Not to excel so much, but to get by, to live life, to be able to pay bills, right? I was stuck in that system. And I didn't really understand what community meant when it comes to people building one another up so that they can excel to do so much greater than they ever thought they could do before. That's community. So we're going to continue to play a little bit more of this. And you guys comment, let me know what you think about that out there, because I have my community members are out there. So talk to me about what you think. I know, Carrie, listen, you're building ATBA and you're building community through that and are so intentional about that. So, let me know what you think about what we're talking about tonight, but we're going to continue with this.
That every person has the capacity to expose a part of me that can exponentially increase my ability for impact. I was adopted at birth and raised by two people that gave me a phenomenal foundation of love in my life. I was an only child, as were they, so I had no extended family. And life took my parents away early. My dad died when I was 9, and my mom got terminally ill when I was 13, and then I became her primary caregiver, and she passed away when I was 18. That situation gave me a perceived license to be angry and resentful at the world for robbing me of experiences that I felt that I was owed. I began to see the world through a lens of self-pity.
Tell me what you think about in these pauses, everybody, when it comes to community. Tell me what you think. Even listening to her story, and knowing that her story very different from my own, where she just felt like she didn't really have a community because of the fact that, her parents were only children as well. So they didn't have that family community. So she had to go out and seek this. I want you to listen to that, kind of pay attention to that part too. She had to go out and seek community. And, oftentimes when we have our own blood family, you have how you perceive your family, that fine, you know what I mean, good or bad, whatever you think of it. But if you have that family, oftentimes you don't necessarily always think about seeking other community, seeking people that, again, as I mentioned before, are going to help you grow. But she went out and she sought the community. Like I mentioned earlier, I was forced to do so. I'm so glad I was, but I was forced to do so. But she sought hers because she recognized that something was missing. And I see Carrie's responding here, and she says the story is like, wow, absolutely, absolutely. Even in the way she tells the story, right? But she said, I had a mix of yours and hers, tons of family, but felt alone. And that's a great point to mention as well, to understand that sometimes we can have so many people around us and still not feel like we have community. And it doesn't mean that we didn't have love. But sometimes when, as I mentioned earlier, I was raised to go to school and go get a good job, and work my tail off, right? So sometimes, even though you have a lot of love in your community, maybe they don't quite understand, what's kind of burning inside of you. Because sometimes you recognize that, ooh, I'm meant for so much more. And life is not necessarily supposed to be this way. But how do I get what I need to be who I need to be? Right? So sometimes there's a lot of people there. And in the quiet of everything, you know that you're supposed to be doing something else. So I love that she sought community. She recognized what she was lacking and she sought it. And it doesn't matter, at what point in your life you decide to do what gives you that extra, that community that's going to help you get to where you need to be. It doesn't matter at what point you do it. Just do it. So if you're here tonight and you're listening and you're feeling like, maybe like Carrie, where you said you have a lot of family, but you feel alone, or if you're feeling like this young lady where you just didn't have community at all and there's something missing, or if you're feeling like me where you've gotten a lot of love, but you knew that there was something else that you were supposed to be doing, or you had to get hit over your head to do it, I'm here to tell you tonight that it's possible for you to build community right now, today, that you can look for the people that are very much like you in your situation and want more, or who have gone through what you've gone through and have already built the more and are ready to serve you. So it's not hard to find community when you're open, when your heart is open and you are ready to build community, because it starts in here first. When you have that, when you're ready to go seek it out, seek and you shall find, right? So I'm glad you mentioned the love. Absolutely. I certainly had and felt love. But to your point, it's the support I lacked. I feel as though I was raised to stay out of the way. And listen, that's so much of, the generations that raised us, right? That's the way they were raised. And then that's the way they taught us, right? It was, everything that happens in the house stays in the house. Get out the way because you're just a child, right? We don't want to hear it. Be quiet because you don't need to talk about what the adults are talking about or be an adult conversation, right? So a lot of it gets shut down to the point where you may not even know that you need to go out and seek. And you may be feeling like Carrie said before, alone, or you're just feeling like, wow, maybe I should just go sit in the corner and be quiet, right? So I want you to think about that. We're going to continue to get into this, but I want you to continue to think about what you're needing in either in the community that you're already in, or if you don't have one, what you're needing to be able to seek out that community and find that community and start to build and grow with that community. So let's continue with this TEDx talk.
So I realized one day, I'm 29 years old. I've been sober for a year, and I'm at a friend's house and house sitting. And after a relapse and a rather rough time trying to get back together, I decided I was ready to try again. So she had a pool in her backyard, and I'm at this pool and I'm floating on the pool and just asking myself, how do I want to be in this world? Do I want to be in this world? And I knew that there was an answer other than self-pity. And the answer came to me almost like this spiritual awakening. I was floating on the pool. The sun was really hot, the water cool, and tears were just streaming down my face. I was asking, what was I doing? On my own, I'd lived in the streets. I had gone to drinking establishments to find my friends. And I had been in the backseat of a police car more times than I'd care to mention. And then all of a sudden, I got this glimpse that every time I had gotten to the other side of loss, grief, or loneliness, I had done so with the support of others.
So listen to that part. I want to go back a little bit because I like the way she said, she said, what am I doing? But she also asked, basically, is she meant to be here? I'm going to say to you out there listening, you are meant to be here. If you're here, you are meant to be here. And then she goes on to give her story, but then she talks about when she got on the other side of whatever it was that she was going through, that it was all based on the support that she had from other people. And it sounds like from the way she's telling the story, those people she didn't even seek. She didn't even necessarily know that that was her community yet. She just realized that, wow, I have the support of other people. So just imagine when you are aware of your community and that what you can do when you know that you have that supportive community. So I'm going to go to a commercial break. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, but we're going to go back. We're going to go back into this because this woman is phenomenal. Just the way she speaks, absolutely phenomenal. The way she gets her point across. But we're going to do a quick commercial break, and I can't believe how much time has gone by. And normally, everybody, I'm not here by myself. Usually I have a guest on the show, but this was a special night because it's the change of time and it is about community tonight because I am coming into this wonderful community of Trajectory TV. So I just wanted to talk about community a lot more tonight because I am, I have the opportunity and the privilege and the honor to be around some of the most amazing people in the communities that I'm in. So I just wanted to talk about community tonight. So we're going to do this commercial and we are going to come back.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? Seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link.
Hello, everybody, and we are back. And yes, if you are just joining us, this is the Whole Living Show. And surprise, surprise, we are on at 7 p.m. tonight, new time for this show. Same day, new time. And as I mentioned earlier, we are now on Trajectory TV, which is also on E360 TV network. And this is about community. So I've been showing you people who are in this community. And Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris is actually the CEO and owner of Trajectory. So I just wanted to mention that as well. And we are talking about community since we are building this community here on Trajectory and on E360 TV network and all of the communities that you build when you are looking to do something wonderful and know that you cannot do it by yourself. Seek your community to do so. I have two beautiful ladies that are out there watching the show who are a part of my community right now. That is BJ and Carrie Irene watching on Facebook and YouTube. So you can also find us on there on Facebook, YouTube, or E360 TV network, everybody. And we are found on all of the avenues that you can think of when it comes to on-demand television. So we're talking about community, and there's so much that has been unraveled. I've been showing this TED Talk, and this woman is just profound. She's a phenomenal speaker, and she's talking about her story and how she grew up and how she did not have community, and how after losing her parents, she basically, did some things in her life that, she probably should not have. But she mentioned, and where we ended off before commercial, is that on the other side of everything that she had gone through, any grief, any, wrongdoing, any trouble with the law, she had the support of other people and started to realize that she had community. So I'm going to continue to show this a little bit further before we end the show. But if you have the opportunity, go back even and listen to the show again. Especially if you're just joining us, go back and listen to some of the beginning. All right. But this is just absolutely amazing when you think about community. And listen, I was mentioning earlier, and I'm going to say that for the people who potentially are just joining, you can't do anything by yourself and really expect to get anywhere further, right? You need community. You need the support of beautiful people who are going to love on you and support you and help you grow, and where you can reciprocate those same things. That's what community is all about. And I mentioned at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to say this again, only because, there were elections that happened. Yesterday was the day to vote. It was the midterm elections for most of the House and the Senate. And we are a divided community during that time period. So I thought, what better time to talk about community than this, especially here in this country, because we are so divided as a country. Our whole community, we're so divided during this time. So I just thought this was so great to mention in this time period. So we're going to listen to a little bit more of this video before we end the show. And I can't believe how much time has already gone by, even with me talking, even when I don't have a guest. So here we go, everybody. I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to listen to a little bit more of this in regards to community.
Every time I came to realize my potential to be more or become more was when I was part of something that was bigger than me. And then I got this sharp clarity that there was more of me when I was connected to you. And in that moment, I realized that being a victim was a choice and not the one I wanted to make. I saw this greater good in the world, and I knew that I was a part of it and even entitled to some of it. And I knew that I wasn't alone. So even sometimes when you are alone, and then you meet someone else that's alone, there's this sense of instant togetherness. You have this opportunity to transcend from me to we. And this we becomes a we of greater caring. And I believe it's the perfect place for community building to start.
Oh, how key is that? Oh my goodness. How key is that when you start to think about the we, there's so much that she says in a short period of time, right? But when you start to think about the we and not the me, then you can really understand what kind of real support you have out there and what you can build. I have a t-shirt from Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris that says problem me, solution we. And how profound is that, right? Because it's so much better and so much easier to solve the problems when you have a community of people that are there to help and support you. So, listen, there was another thing that I wanted to mention about what she was saying. When you think about, your community and all the things that you go through, the impact, right? And I talked about this earlier, but the impact is so much greater with the community. But what I also wanted to say about that is that I know when I'm around community, there's a certain level of joy. There's just a certain level of elevation. There's a vibration, energy, whatever you call it, right? High vibe, Carrie. There's a high vibe when you are around the like-minded beautiful people who just want to build and grow. Like there's and people that just want to love, right? You feel different. Your vibration is so much higher. Your energy is so much better. Your outlook is so positive, and everything that you're ready to do and move forward and just live life exponentially, right? And I'm not just talking about money, everybody out there. I'm talking about everything that impacts your life is better in community. And I always feel so good. That's right, Brandy. High vibe. I always feel so good when I'm around community, especially the communities that I, have the just the humbleness and honor of being around now. High Vibe being one of them, everybody. If you if you didn't go last year, you need to make sure you're at the next High Vibe, because that's what community is all about. But it's the feelings even that you get. And I love that she even mentioned that there's just a completely different vibration when you're in a good community. So if you don't have one, you need to make sure that you seek out one. And I have a few that I could tell you about, but you just saw one up there on the screen. We're gonna put it back on there. All right. Just so everybody knows, come on out to High Vibe, and we'll be posting High Vibe and when it's happening, so that you will know about that before it actually happens. But it is in April, and it will be in Tennessee, everybody. So just want to let you know about that, and you can come out and you can join this community and just get what you need. That's all I'm going to say about that at the moment. So I'm going to give you a little bit more, and then we're going to close out the show. But I want you to really consider your community. And I started all of this, and I started thinking about community because of joining Trajectory TV with my amazing coach, Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris. And there was something else that she said that he always talks about, and that they always talk about I'm mentioning everybody tonight because it's my community. These are my communities that they always talked about on Bridging the Nations as well, which was another show that was on Sunday mornings. But it's about, there's always something that's greater than you or me. And when you recognize that, that's when you'll be able to really come into a community. And I'm bringing my hands together in real unity, because you know that it's not just about you, me, or the one person that's standing next to you or the other one over there. It's not just about any individual. It's about something that's so much greater than us. And if we could all come together to fulfill that greater purpose, ooh, how glorious, right? And that's how I'm going to say it. How glorious would life be? So I'm going to give you a little bit more of this, and then we're going to close out this show. But I want everybody out there to really think about community, and the community that you place yourself around, and the one that you seek out for yourself.
I found my community in a lot of different places. Some of them were as traditional as a church or as unorthodox as a mafia bar, as conventional as a 12-step meeting, or as raw as a support group for rape victims. And every time I came together with individuals in a like situation, I got what I needed to get to the other side. Every time I joined in community, my situation was normalized and almost okay.
Okay. I hate that the show is almost over, everybody. I hate it because if you listen to what she's saying, when you think about, sometimes when you're going through situations, you always think about, the fact you think you're alone, or you think maybe, nobody will understand. And normally there are other people out there that have experienced, if not the same thing, something very similar to you, who can recognize your pain and understand you and lift you up and hold you, and even hold you accountable when it's necessary, for you to get through. And she's been talking about getting through to the other side. And the other side doesn't have to be anything sad or evil or harmful. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. The other side could just be that, you're stuck in your own mind, or you don't know how to fix something that you need to fix, or you're stuck in your business, or you're stuck in your relationship. But it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that you want to move to the next level in whatever that is in your life. So the other side, good or bad, right? But the other side is usually coming out of something or moving up from something, right? It's either leveling up or coming out of something that you need to come out of. But it's not always necessarily bad. That's what I wanted to mention. But it is hard to get there without community. It's hard to get through or level up without community. We really cannot do these things on our own. And I'm going to stop sharing the screen. So I hope that, this show about community has resonated with you all out there tonight. This was a little bit different for the Whole Living Show, yes, but I always believe that everything happens for a reason. And as I was thinking, just about what the show needed to be about tonight, it's definitely community, even as I am continuing to build community right here on this network and in life. Just from all perspectives, it needed to be about community tonight, especially, like I said, after coming off of, these midterm elections and us always being so divided when it's time to vote. So I want everybody out there to think about what you need, what type of community you need in order for you to take whatever it is that you need to the next level, or get through whatever it is that you need to get through. I would just say, make sure you align yourself with people that operate in love, with people that operate with the heart to see you move past whatever it is and support you to moving on up. Like, I don't know, I might be dating myself. I might be dating myself because of that. That was the song for the Jeffersons, a show called The Jeffersons. So for those younger people out there. You may not even know that show, but look it up. Look it up. But the theme song was "Well, We're Moving On Up." So listen, when you need community and you are looking to get to that next level or get to the other side and you need that support that you need, just make sure that it's a community that is filled with love, as I mentioned, a community that wants to see you grow, a community that is positive, that has the best intentions in mind, and a community that is focused on the we and not the me or the I. Because when you have that type of community, they're going to make sure that everybody gets what they need. Okay. And when you go into a community, don't go into the community trying to suck everything out of everybody else. Okay. Reciprocate that love, reciprocate that support. Okay. Reciprocate that positivity so that everybody's vibration can be high. All right. So I just wanted you to think about that. Thank you, Laura, for joining. I love you too, my dear. And I just appreciate, she said, moving on up to the east side. That's right. Laura knows that show. She knows that show. That's right. I love you. I love you as well, my dear. And listen, everybody, as I mentioned earlier, the Whole Living Show has a new time, same day, new time. You will find me here 7 p.m. right on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and on Trajectory TV on the E360 TV network, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope that you join me next week, and I hope that you got something out of this. Go find and help build your community. And I am out. I will see you beautiful people next week.